Hey everyone, John here. In this video I'll be showcasing my PvP Corrosion shotgun build. Starting off with the gun, I'm running a rapid crit damage calibration. For my accessories, I'm using a multi-shot shotgun suppressor muzzle, a tactical laser sight, and tungsten shotgun AP bullets. For my mod, I'm using static shock with the power surge suffix, with power surge damage, weapon damage reduction, and power surge trigger chance. Ideally, I would want power surge damage, weapon damage reduction, power surge crit damage, and an HP roll. For my headpiece, I'm running the gas mask with Fateful Strike. My ideal stats would be elemental damage, status damage, weapon damage reduction, and an HP roll again. For my mask, I'm running the Savior mask with Burst Electrocution. My ideal stats would be power surge damage, shock damage, power surge crit damage, and an HP roll. For my gloves, I'm running the Savior gloves with crit amplifier. My ideal stats would be elemental damage bonus, weapon damage reduction, status damage reduction, and an HP roll. For my boots, I'm running the heavy duty boots with covered advanced battle. The only stat that I would change from this would be the damage against elite enemies, and I would swap that out for weapon damage reduction. For my chest piece, I'm running the Savior top with Life Force. The only stat I would change from this would be the damage against normal enemies, and I would hope for a weapon damage reduction. An alternative to Life Forces, if you weren't lucky enough to get them to drop from Leia, for your chest piece, would be Resist Advantage, which is good against bingos, or Head-on Conflict, which is good for close range combat. Ideally, the stats that you're looking for will be elemental damage, weapon damage reduction, status damage reduction, and max HP. For my pants, I'm running the Savior pants with Life Force again. The only stat I would change would be the damage against elite enemies and the reload speed bonus. I would swap those out for HP rolls and status damage reduction. The alternative for your pants, if you don't have a Life Force, are pretty slim, but I would recommend using Deadshot Talents with elemental damage, weapon damage reduction, status damage reduction, and max HP. With my current build, I'm sitting at 28% crit rate, but that's increased by my gas mask by 35% and my shotgun by 15%, which brings my total to 78% crit rate. I have 111% crit damage, 56% status damage bonus, 30.8% shock elemental damage bonus, and an overall 29.6% power surge damage bonus. I'm sitting at 19k HP with 29.4% weapon damage reduction and 20.4 status damage reduction. Another thing I would like to mention is my secondary weapon, which is another Corrosion. And the reason I do this is because the reload time on the Corrosion shotgun is horrendous. And instead of having to reload your primary gun, you just swap to your secondary gun with a full mag, and you can continue shooting. This is especially important on the server that I play on, which is the Jaws meta with the stagger mod. And what the Jaws does is, with the stagger, while you're reloading, it cancels your reload animation and forces you to reload again. So to offset that, you just build a second Corrosion, and instead of reloading, you just swap to it and shoot them. Moving on to food buffs and whims. If you have somebody on your team that has the shell dish, this energy drink will give you a 1.5% HP regen per second. but it also gives you 2 whim effects. To counteract this, all you have to do is overwrite them with 6 different whims. I like to use Utter Delight, Weaver, Predator, Parapsychology, Arrow Leap, and Living Armor. For food, I like to use the Safety Sandwich, an iced tea, and after those 2 have been eaten, you can choose either an HP blue food or a stamina blue food. I personally like to go for the HP. These will all stack and ensure that you have the best gaming experience while fighting in wars. With the most recent patch, they added in more stats for your armor that you can craft. For your helmet, I would recommend Rockwall Wool, which gives you damage reduction plus 7% while moving. For your chest, I would recommend Wasteland Wolfskin, which gives you 20 stamina and 5% sprint speed. Same thing for your pants, Wasteland Wolfskin for 20 stamina and 5% sprint speed. Gloves is for PvE, but I would recommend the Golden Wool, which gives you a 20% yield boost on gold ore with a small chance of yielding a gold ingot. For your boots, I would recommend the Coastal Bay Crocodile Skin, which gives you a 12% roll speed. And for your mask, I would recommend the Lucky Rabbit Fur, which gives you a 10% elemental damage bonus for 3 seconds after scoring a critical hit. Alright guys, that about sums it up for my PvP build. If you liked the content and found it informative, please leave a like. Feel free to also leave a comment if you have any more questions, and I'll gladly answer them. Peace.